seen all kinds of different solutions proposed for the labor shortage that we've seen in the United States, or at least the labor mismatch, including some proposals by Republicans. Rick Newman is here today with what that proposal looks like and whether it's working. Rick?
Hey, Julie. So these are I think the number is 26 states with Republican governors that have canceled those federal unemployment benefits of $300 per week. Now, those went into effect on different dates in different states, but some data is rolling in. So we're able to assess, is this actually working? Is this actually leading people to go back to job searches and take jobs sooner than they might otherwise? And it looks like it's really having no impact. This Republican plan seems to be kind of a bust. Moody's Analytics put out some research on this yesterday. They looked at 4 different indicators and didn't find any convincing evidence that taking away jobless benefits leads people to go out looking for a job when they might not have done that otherwise. And just one of those is the job search site Indeed. During the first few days after some of these cancellations went into effect, there was a small increase in job searches in those Republican states, but that has since turned around. That has reversed. And in some of the states that have canceled jobless benefits, job searches are actually down compared with where they were before the states took these measures. So this does not seem to be having the desired effect in the Republican states, where people are just not returning to work in greater numbers than they were before governors canceled these jobless benefits.
Rick, we're both cynical enough to sort of know how this might go. So it'll happen before, right? The jobless benefits get canceled, and then eventually the unemployment checks run out in September, and there will be a causal line drawn from employment coming back in November or something like that, right? From these programs, these decisions being taken, and when the market recovers. Because as you note, it's been a few weeks, not a whole lot happening, but time is irrelevant in politics, yes?
I guess so, but we do know a fair amount about what's happening here. There's been some research that all kinds of shows the same thing. There are some people, and there are many anecdotal reports of this. There are some people who would it actually makes economic sense for them to take all the jobless benefits they can get, including the $300 per week from the feds, but that's on top of state level benefits. And if your best option is to make $12 an hour, you probably are going to make more collecting the unemployment aid. So some people are doing that, but there have been a lot of surveys that show it's probably no more than 50%, 15% of everybody who is unemployed. A survey by Morning Consult found it was only 13% of unemployed people said they were not looking for a job because of the unemployment aid. A Federal Reserve Bank of San Francisco survey found basically the same thing. And it's going to end anyway. This is just the federal benefit. It's going to end in September. So what's at the major economic level, it's just not going to make much of a difference what happens in half the states for what is about 1 million workers during these 3 months or even 2 months when, that these people are not going to be getting these benefits. And meanwhile, this is actually going to add up to lost income for these people. So there actually will be a negative effect on the income side for people who are just going to have less money to spend and probably won't be back at work anyway.
Yeah, as we've talked about frequently, September is really the time to watch to see what happens with those people going back to work, not just because of that, but also because of schools going back. So will we see more parents re-entering the workforce? That's going to be the key time. Rick Newman,
Julie,
thanks for this. Really interesting.
That's probably a bigger factor is people who have to stay home with their kids. So I think you're right on that.
Most definitely. That is a biggie. All right, Rick, thanks for bringing us these numbers. And we're going to keep, of course, talking about that.